Which nappy do you want to use tonight? Do you want the tiger or the elephant? The giraffe? Okay. Yeah. Hi guys, I'm Cara and welcome back to my channel, Bain and a Backpack. Today I'm in Ben's nursery and I'm going to be talking about something which I feel exceptionally passionate about, using cloth reusable nappies over disposable nappies. It's something which I know more and more people have become interested in recently because of the COVID-19 pandemic and panic buying. There's not been the same availability of disposable nappies in the supermarkets, and so more and more people are thinking about moving over to cloth nappies. I'm going to talk a little bit today about my reusable cloth nappy journey, the practicalities of using cloth nappies over disposables, and also the pros and cons of choosing to go the route of reusable cloth nappies. So to start with, a little bit about my reusable cloth nappy journey. I knew while I was pregnant that using cloth nappies was something I was really interested in, something I definitely wanted to investigate further. But I gave birth to Ben at 33 weeks, so pretty prematurely, in another country in Germany, because he came so early. We definitely weren't prepared for that, and I had nothing to welcome a baby into the world. So for the first few months of Ben's life, we went down the disposable nappy route. I was also relatively happy using disposable nappies, but then I went to a baby group with Ben as quite a young baby, and they had someone there from our local nappy library. And they brought a whole range of reusable nappies, and were talking about why you should move over to cloth, or what the benefits of moving over to cloth were. I was really interested in this, and one of the things that they did was offer you a nappy pack. So it was a rental for a few months where you got to try various different brands of nappies, different types, because there's a range of reusable nappy types. And then before you invested in your own nappy stash, you got to try what you liked and also understand what you didn't like. This was super beneficial for me because it's quite a lot of money to put out at the start when you're using cloth nappies. I think in total our nappy stash costs about £150, so it's not something you really want to spend unless you know that you're going to like it. So it meant that when it came to me investing in the brand of nappies which we liked, I knew that I was going to like them, I was going to use them, and they were going to save us money in the long run. The brand which we really loved was a brand called Bambino Mio. We bought around 15 of their cloth nappies. What I really loved about Bambino Mio is that they are adorable designs, they are really modern and easy to use. They also have additional absorbent layers which can be tucked into the pocket, and we bought those as Ben got a little bit older and became a heavier wetter. We also decided to move away from baby wipes and use a more environmentally friendly version. We bought cheeky wipes. So they're essentially little square face cloths that you can use to wipe your baby and then throw in the washing machine along with the nappies. So we used our cloth nappies all the way up until Ben was 18 months when we decided to potty train. And we still use them now through the night because he's not yet night trained, usually with the additional absorbent layer, and we continue to use our cheeky wipes daily, whether that's after he's been to the potty or whether it's after a meal and we're washing his face. So why did we decide to use cloth nappies over disposable nappies? For me, the major pro and the big selling point of cloth nappies was the environmental impact that we could have. Disposable nappies make up 30% of the household waste which is sent to landfill. No nappy that has ever been made has yet biodegraded, so I felt it was a small change that I could make that would ultimately have a big impact on the environment. It's also easy with cloth nappies to make a big difference with a small change. So if you can imagine changing from one disposable nappy to one cloth nappy a day, that would be 365 fewer nappies sent to the landfill in a year. I also think there's a real feel-good factor in using reusable nappies. I know that I'm doing my small bit to help protect the environment for future generations. Another thing that I really love is that there are no nasty chemicals in reusable nappies. Whenever we travelled, and I'll talk about that a little bit later when I talk about the cons of using reusable nappies, we did use disposable nappies when we didn't have access to a washing machine. We always found that that's when Ben got really horrible nappy rash. With reusable nappies, we never got nappy rash, and also my mind was at ease putting the reusable nappies on him, knowing that his skin was not being exposed to anything that I really didn't want it to be exposed to. One thing that I really noticed when I moved from using disposable nappies onto cloth nappies was that the cloth nappies kept everything inside the nappy much more effectively. So Poonamis became less of a thing, and it's mostly because of the elasticated waist on the type of nappies that we chose, and I feel that you can also make the cloth nappies fit the baby far more effectively than you can with a disposable. Another great benefit is that cloth nappies usually save you money in the long run. I was lucky because the brand that I really liked team up with Aldi once a year and sell their nappies at a reduced price. This was timed really well around the time that I decided to invest in the cloth nappies, and so I managed to get my whole stash of nappies for around £150. If you want, you can spend a lot more money than that. There are some adorable designs, there are so many different types of cloth nappies that you can invest in. But definitely when I look at my experience, the amount that I spent on cloth nappies over the period that we've used them, I would definitely have spent considerably more on disposable nappies. Another pro is that the nappies wear really well. In the future I'd love to have another baby, another child, and I'm planning on keeping the nappies for when that happens and using them again. There's also a big market in second-hand reusable nappies, so there's also the possibility to sell them on at the end of the time that you've used them, if that's something that you want to do as well. Most reusable nappies are also adjustable, meaning that they grow with your baby and go from birth to potty. This also means that you're not going to be left with spare sizes of nappies which no longer fit your baby. The next one is definitely just from our experience, but we potty trained Ben at 18 months. By 18 months, he was telling us every time that he was going to the toilet in his nappy. With the disposable nappies, the moisture is whipped away really quickly because you're so absorbent, and the babies or toddlers don't really feel that they're going to the toilet. The reusable nappies are slightly slower at absorbing the moisture, so you could actually feel when he was wet. This made it for us much easier to potty train because he already knew what was happening and he could feel himself going to the toilet. Also, the nappies themselves are really different from pants. So a reusable nappy tends to be a bit bulkier, so Ben really knew there was a difference between wearing a nappy and wearing a pair of pants. With disposable nappies, which tend to be a lot slimmer and not as bulky, they feel much more like a pair of pants do. I don't know how important a pro this is, but I absolutely loved how adorable the designs of the cloth nappies are. I think they are so cute, and I absolutely loved to see Ben running around in his little cloth nappies. And my final pro is that you can get reusable nappies for all occasions. We even have a reusable swim nappy, which we absolutely love. It's also from Bambino Mio. It's super cute and really does the job. But I want to be completely honest, we did find some disadvantages in using the cloth nappies. The first is that the cloth nappies were considerably bulkier than disposable nappies. Initially for us this wasn't really a problem. Ben was a premature baby, so he was really petite, and we didn't have a problem getting trousers to go up over the cloth nappies. It was actually a problem for us when it came to potty training, because trousers which had fitted Ben no longer did when we took the nappies away. So we had to find clothes which were smaller, we had to get smaller sizes of clothes back out of storage, and we generally found it difficult to stop his trousers falling down. Cloth nappies are also definitely not ideal when it comes to travelling. When we went on day trips, we did use our cloth nappies. We also got a wet bag from Bambino Mio so that we could put all of our used nappies inside them and just take them home. But whenever we were travelling to somewhere where we weren't going to have access to a washing machine for a few days, we did tend to use disposables instead. Another disadvantage, and certainly this was the case for me at the start, is that the world of cloth nappies is pretty overwhelming. There are so many options, there are so many different types, from traditional terry cloths all the way up to the modern nappies that use poppers and Velcro, and for me I just didn't know where to start, and that's actually where the nappy library was so beneficial, and definitely look and see if there's one in your area, because I was able to try the nappies out, and then it became a much less daunting process to choose which nappies to invest that amount of money in. And the final disadvantage, and probably the biggest disadvantage for more people, is that cloth nappies definitely give you more washing. To be completely honest, I didn't find this to be a huge difference. We're washing lots of baby clothes anyway, and often there were more poo blowouts and I had to wash more outfits when I was using disposable nappies. But also, for the first few months of Ben's life, for the first 6 months, he was breastfed, and breastfed baby poo is water soluble, so it can be thrown straight in the washing machine, or thereafter. And also if your baby's formula fed, you can use liners, and we did once Ben started solids. The liners make it super easy to dispose. You can either bag it and bin it, or flush it and then bin the liner, and it makes it very, very easy to clean them. We did a wash probably once every 2 days because we bought enough nappies to allow us to do that, so we didn't find it to be a huge difference, but there definitely is more washing involved with cloth nappies than with disposables. And there you have them, my pros and cons of using cloth nappies. I really hope that has been useful and maybe inspired you to move over to use cloth nappies, or if you're in the current situation with COVID-19 just now and having to think about cloth nappies as an alternative, hopefully put your mind at ease that they are a great alternative, and I can be completely honest in saying that I feel it was the right decision for us. I've absolutely loved my cloth nappy journey. I'm also more than happy to answer any questions you have about using cloth nappies in the comments down below, or feel free to engage with me in any of my platforms. If you've enjoyed today's video, please think about giving me a thumbs up or subscribing, and I really hope that I'll see you in another video. Until then, bye!